Recently, because I love to do site visits, you all know that about me, I love to experience what I'm talking about. I got in the car with a probation and parole worker. It was a hard night for me. It was cold, one of those odd cold nights, dark and dreary and rainy. And I was assigned to this woman in her 30s. She didn't know I was coming. Her supervisor knew I was coming, and so they didn't make any special plans to shield me from the realities of the work she did. They just gave her her list of who she was supposed to visit that night. And they put me in the car with her. The first thing I said to her when we were out on that dark road trying to find this man's house was, "My God, you don't have a GPS in your car." And as she was going like this in the rain and the wind coming down, she said, "No, ma'am." That's what we ask folks on the ground to use. I spent 3.5 hours with that woman. We walked up to dark front porches. They didn't know she was coming. We knocked on doors in the dark on that rainy night, and people would open that door and look at her. A couple of times, men drinking a lot of beer. I assume it was a lot of beer. They were a little bit high. And one man looked at it and said, "Holy S, don't let the governor in." I mean. And one woman just slammed the door in our face. And I said to her, "Is this what it's like?" And she said, "Yeah." She says, "But it's my job." And she keeps being tenacious at that job. And I said, "Why do you do this job? Why do you do this job? Why do you do your jobs? Have you ever thought about that? It's not for the big bucks you make working for the state or the county or the city. I know that. Why do you do what you do?" She looked at me and she said, "You know, Governor Perdue, I believe what I do can really make a difference. I believe once in a while I help somebody, I give them a second chance, I reach them, I help them find a different life, I keep them in treatment or therapy or at work. Sometimes I feel like I save a life." I went home that night and cried and prayed for that woman. And since then, I've been as committed as I've ever been to anything in my life, to doing more for probation and parole workers, because I know what they do. I feel the very same way about all of you all. There aren't a lot of times in this job that I have or in the jobs that you have that you really get to see people that you honestly admire and that you thank for really making a huge difference in a very inauspicious and probably very little noticed way. That's the law enforcement community of North Carolina.